You're cute, Sammy. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so I think what I did was when she was when we were on the fourth and she was leading, I muted. I'm sorry. And you guys are so wonderful. You're all trying to message and call. You need to unmute. You know, you're on those conference calls. We're gonna talk with Katelyn here. You're on those conference calls too. Like there's that person in the background that needs to mute, and it's not muted. So funny. All right, let's see here if Katelyn is here. All right, maybe. So, did you guys at least see me mouthing the prayers? Caught it on YouTube. Oh man, sorry. Oh boy. All right. Oh wow, this is amazing what Katelyn is doing. There she is. So sorry about that. Sammy, you gotta tell me when I'm on mute. Pray for Grandma and Grandpa. And Caroline, hi. So sorry. Oh my gosh, people were trying to tell me to. So it is fourth. I muted and then woo. All right, okay. But let's talk more about what you're doing. It's not a full-blown professional production here, but we're trying. Um, um, so I'd love to hear your rosary story, and then obviously, I mean, this is amazing. What you're doing at Generation Life too. But we'd first love to hear your rosary story.
Yeah, I was going to share a different one, but then when you said that October is the month of the Rosary, I thought I would share this quick story. So I'm from Philadelphia. I don't live in Center City, but a few years ago, God put it on my heart when I had my conversion, like do something like the city of Philadelphia needs the rosary. They need a walking rosary. And I kept having this on my heart and I'm like, I don't even live in Center City. Like, why? So I just kept dismissing it because I thought, well, this is weird. And I don't even live in the city. And so this went on for 2 years. And so finally I was in the city one night. I was meeting up with a friend and I decided to pop in the St. Patrick's Cathedral in Center City. And I really wanted to talk to a priest. I was going through a hard time and I said, Lord, like you have to send me a priest. And so I go into the church and it's empty, no one's there. And then I walk outside and I see a priest and I start talking to him and he's like, are you okay? Like, do you want to grab a bite to eat? And I was like, yes, I do want to grab a bite to eat. And so he gives me a little spiritual direction. And then I tell him, Father, I think, Our Lady really wants the rosary prayed in Center City. And he was new there. He was a Dominican. And he said, really? And I said, yeah. I'm like, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I just feel like I should. And Our Lady is put this on my heart, and I don't know what to do with it. But prior to this, I was saying a novena to Our Lady of the Rosary. And this was the month of October. And so I meet up with this priest randomly, and he said, all right, let's do it. Let's do it in Philadelphia. Let's do it on the first Saturday of October. And I said, really? And he was like, yeah, let's get a rosary walk going. And so every first Saturday in Philadelphia, we do a rosary walk. And that was the ninth day of my novena when I ran into this priest. So that's Our Lady.
So does he not like do a walk in Center City for the rosary?
Yes.
Wow.
So when Our Lady wants something done, she gets it done somehow. So yeah, it's still going on, and that was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Wow. That's amazing.
Crazy.
That's really fantastic. And so did that also like happen like right before the month of October, that ninth day? Or
Yeah, like that Saturday was like the first Saturday in October. Like the timeline was
oh,
nothing short of miraculous.
that's like you start to really see. I, to be totally open, didn't know much about feast days or what they were, or why they, existed. But then as we've been doing this and you celebrate the saints, and then you watch like the dates and the patterns, and you're like, oh, yeah, Holy Spirit.
Yes.
Yeah, it is truly. It's truly miraculous, yet also beautiful, yet totally part of God's plan. Um,
Totally.
so would you like to also tell us about Generation Life?
Yeah, sure. So we are a movement of young people and we speak to other young people on the messages of life and love. So we go into schools, mostly Catholic schools, and our mission is to end abortion at its root cause. So we do that by promoting the virtue of chastity. And so we go, we have a two-part series, and we basically talk to the students in a very joyful message and a joyful manner about the dignity of the human person and God's plan for life and love. And so God's really put this on my heart as someone who was way out there just in the culture and into just all of the worldly things. And so really just kind of flipped everything upside down and showed me that joy and the freedom in living a chaste lifestyle, even though it can be so difficult, whatever state of life you're in. So we pass that along in the classroom. And yeah, every summer we go to the beach and the Jersey Shore, and we literally like walk up to people on the beaches and boardwalk, and we talk to them about love, dating, relationships, and chastity. And we have these remarkable conversations like
Oh,
at the beach.
what does this relate to your conversion story?
Yes, I always knew about Generation Life, and I just thought they were like they came and spoke to me, and in my school. And then when I went to college, I was off on my own. So you know what can happen when you're away at college by yourself. Um, so when I came back, I just kind of like hit rock bottom, and I knew that my mom had been praying for me because moms are just powerful prayer warriors, and she had a devotion to our Blessed Mother. So she had been praying for me consistently, and she always just had a great love for Our Lady. And so she was like, just start praying the Rosary. So I did. And then God just put it on my heart, like try a pro-life ministry. And it just kind of, everything fell into place. And I love doing what I do because it's so needed. And I wish someone had said this message to me over and over again when I was younger. So
I think we don't realize too that the images that young girls are being inundated with, and it's always kind of been an issue, and now I just think the volume is even so much greater with the social media, and those who are the ones that are really kind of deemed as like the poster child and whatnot. The message needs to be more of one like you are so much more than like your body and your attraction.
yes.
And it's like we keep giving this messaging, and girls are probably a little confused, like, I don't know, that doesn't really seem right. And then they kind of go along with it. And then if things happen, or there's even like a trauma because they're told this is the way, and then you're like, I don't feel good about it, but okay. And then it keeps getting worse and worse because the pain becomes so great. And I love how you go to the beach and you just talk to them because they literally probably just need someone who's like, there's an alternative way, you know?
Yes, yes. And it's not like preachy or I can't believe you did that. Because a lot of the times I can empathize with them or like, yeah, I've been there, and there's this gaping hole in our heart. So we try to fill it with, the likes and the follows and
Right.
all of that, especially the young girls, as you said. So we hand out miraculous medals, we hand out rosaries. And at first I was like, I don't know, this might seem like a little much. And then we were like, hey, like, have you ever prayed the rosary before? And they were like, no, but like, I'll take one. And they were like, have you ever heard about the miraculous medal? So we ended up handing out all of these like sacrament medals. Yeah, it's just, and people want to share their story. So that's been really, really cool. Everyone has a story. And we all need that message of like, hey, you can start over. And
Right.
that's one of the things we encounter the most is like, well, that sounds great, but that's for the good people, the holy people, but that's not for me. And so we're saying, hey, this is for everyone, and you can start over every single day of the year. And we can't hear that again, really. We can't hear that enough.
I also listened to this great podcast one time on chastity, because I think um, we think like absolutely no sex, but there's actually, isn't it? There's so much more to it. It's a pure,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because you think about abstinence and it's a no word, but chastity is a yes word, and there's a why behind it. So it's not just like, well, no meat or, no sex because it's bad and it's wrong and it's dirty and you're going to go to hell, which is what people think.
Ah,
And so, so we're kind of going in like this offers you the romance without the regret, the freedom to love and to know that you're being loved in return. It's not out of lust, it's not out of use, and it strengthens us in the virtue of self-control, of prudence, and it's the most joyful, healthiest, and holiest way to live out our sexuality, and happiest. So it's not always easy, but it's worth it.
wow. Yeah, and I think you're right. I think a lot of the truth or the messaging is just misconstrued or misunderstood. Yeah. I love
Yeah.
somebody asked, what's the first thing you say to somebody on the beach? That the
Yeah, we kind of have like a couple different openers.
I'm all bathing suits now. There's a really changed too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I get, so one time someone asked me if I was Jehovah's Witness. Like I've gotten all sorts of different things. Um, so we'll say like, hey, how are you today? Do you have a minute to chat about like dating and relationships? And something a little bit generic like that. And they might say like, yeah, okay, because they don't really know. It's very general. And then we'll say like, okay, well, some people just go right in with it. They're like, hey, do you believe in love? And they're like, whoa, like I'm just here tanning on the beach. And so, yeah, it depends. We have some people who are a little bit more bold with it. But usually we start with like dating and relationships because it's pretty general. And then we can go like,
Yeah.
kind of sift through it.
Yes. Oh, I mean that's so beautiful. And were you guys able to kind of keep doing it too with the last couple of years?
Ironically enough, we were like in 2020, we had 20 people join us um, to go down the shore, which was amazing. And yeah, so it says chastity, freedom to live fully. Absolutely. Yeah, because like I said, people want to hear this message when it's not this this version of what we hear in the culture of, oh, we already know what the Catholic Church teaches. And I mean, most Catholics don't even know the rich teachings and beauty of human sexuality that the church upholds. So
Right.
yeah, we have just a lot of volunteers who sign up for this, which is really, it's kind of scary at first, but people do it. So
Wow. So can kind of anybody volunteer? Are you guys only in New Jersey? Or are you
So
every
we are primarily in Philadelphia. That is our home base. So that's where we started. So that's where we still are, but we will travel. So we go kind of around the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Delaware. But we have been to like Florida, Minnesota. People can always volunteer with us. If some people volunteer every year just for beach outreach. So yeah, there's always
out
opportunities to get involved.
beach outreach? It's so amazing. Really beautiful. Um, well, thank you. And thank you for sticking with me, even though I was on mute.
That's okay. The prayers were still being sent up, so it's great.
Oh, you are so wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for all you do.
Oh, thanks for having me on, Kristen. God bless you and God bless your ministry.
Bless you too. Bye, you guys. Have a great day.
Bye.